Happy Thursday! On this week's episode of the Otaku Experience, the summer 2023 anime season officially starts next week, so we'll go through the top 30 most anticipated anime. My Hero Academia Vigilantes might be getting an anime adaptation. Oshi was confirmed for a season 2, like we didn't already know, and much, much more. Behold, it's me, Israel King, the CEO of SAO, the resident PGS Transformers expert as proclaimed by Robert Meyer Burnett, or as most people know me, Kingtanic. Hello and welcome to all of my fellow weebs, otakus, imagination connoisseurs, and all of the members of the Post-Geek singularity to another episode of the Otaku Experience, the anime non-news show where we talk about the current goings-on in the anime and manga industry with our very uneducated opinions. Special thanks to Robert Meyer Burnett, all the great folks at the Burnett Network, and of course you, our viewers, because without you guys, this show would not be possible. All right, before we go into the most anticipated anime of this next season, gosh, I can't believe summer's already about to start. The year's halfway over. I did do a video on my main channel, Kingtanic, of the same type of concept, except it's more of a me-focused thing, whereas this is going to be more of an objective, oh, here's the anime that are coming out, yada, yada, yada. I'll mention what I'm watching, but if you really want to hear my thoughts and what I'm excited for and all of my thoughts on everything going into the next season, you can check out my main channel, Kingtanic, and watch that video there that I just uploaded yesterday when this episode airs. So anyways, moving right along into the freaking, gosh, I'm just blown away that it's summer. Like, I'm thinking about this and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm old. I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, the year's already over. Okay, anyways, so starting things off here with the summer 2023 anime season. Obviously, the most anticipated show is Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. They don't have a synopsis because why would you? It's Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm obviously going to be watching this. I think enough said. Moving on. If you don't know what Jujutsu Kaisen is at this point, why are you watching this show? No, it's a shonen, supernatural, psychological thing. Go check it out. Action. You know the deal. Okay. Second most anticipated show this season is Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 2, and they have a little bit of a synopsis here. The second season of Mushoku Tensei Isekai Itara Hanki Das. Rudy heads north with new friends and powers in search of adventure and those he once knew. So, if you know me, I thought that the first season, over the course of the 2 cores, I thought was okay. I thought it had more good moments than bad, but I wasn't all too excited for it. I'm going to be checking this season out. I'm pretty excited for it. I do have hope. They did like a big age gap. So there's a big, not age gap, but a time skip. So there's a different cast for the actors that played kids in the first season. And so there's a lot of interesting stuff there. I think overall as well that this season's going to be a lot darker than the first. I'm very excited for that. So I'm excited. I'm going to check this out as well. The third most anticipated anime of the summer 2023 anime season is Haremia the Missing Pieces. We've been talking about this for the past few weeks on the Otaku Experience, and this is where they're taking all the manga stories that they did not adapt in the anime adaptation of Haremia, because if you don't know, basically the anime or the manga was about this size. They made the anime and made it about this size. And so there's a bunch of stuff in there that they didn't adapt, and so they're going to be adapting this almost in an anthology series here, and they have a little synopsis that says basically what I'm saying. A new anime project adapting popular side stories that were left out from the previous adaptation. So like I said, I think it's going to be probably a more anthology stories. I don't think they're going to try to just lay out the stories linearly, just take out all the stuff that was already adapted. That might seem weird. I have a feeling they're going to focus on specific arcs, kind of like the Clone Wars. If you ever seen Star Wars, the Clone Wars, basically they have arcs that are all canon, but not all of them, they don't necessarily take place in timeline order. Like, I think the first few episodes of season 1 take place like after season 2 or something like that. It's crazy. And so I think that might be the case here, where the timeline might be all over the place, but I think it'll be fine. I'm just excited to see these characters again. I'm going to be checking this out, obviously. Then we have Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War, The Separation, the fourth most anticipated anime of this next season. And this is the second part of Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War. At this point, if you're going to be watching this, if you're going to be watching this at all, you've already seen all of Bleach. Unless you want to take it upon yourself, the burden of binging all of Bleach. I managed to do it. I binged all of the original Bleach in 3 months to catch up for the first part of Thousand Year Blood War. So I'm already caught up. If you want to catch up, they do have filler lists, so you can look those up, just Bleach filler list, and you'll be able to skip like 70 or so episodes throughout. And so it takes it from like 360 down to like, 290 or whatever that is. And so I recommend it if you are considering that. Just be ready that's all you're going to be watching. I think I watched like 6 episodes a day. It was a commitment. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be checking this out as well. Then we have Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. And so this is something really interesting. And I forget if we talked about this on the Otaku Experience in the past few weeks, but I remember seeing this and wanting to talk about it because there was a huge reaction from the anime community. I'm assuming that the manga that this is based off of is very, very popular and or very, very well received and well regarded in the community. And so when this was announced, it like caught on fire. And so I looked into it. I was like, okay, the synopsis sounds interesting. The trailer and the animation looks great. I'm personally going to be checking this out. But for those of you guys that don't know, if you're going to check this out, I'll give you a little bit of a synopsis to see if I can sway you on this or not. Surviving a zombie apocalypse beats being a wage slave any day. After spending years slaving away for a soul-crushing company, Akira's life has lost its luster. He lives in a trash-filled apartment, his pay is abysmal, and he can't even muster up the nerve to confess his love to his beautiful co-worker. But when a zombie apocalypse ravages his town, it gives him the push he needs to live for himself. Now Akira is on a mission to complete all 100 items on his bucket list before, well, he kicks the bucket. Yeah, so I think it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And so I think this is going to be very, very interesting and very fun. They say action comedy, and then there's horror in there as well. And even some of the art on this poster, I'm like, there wasn't like, I mean, I guess they mentioned zombie apocalypse, but not a lot of this seems to be horror, really. And so and this might just be a loose tag, just based on like, oh, mention zombies and look at the zombie warthogs in the background, so this might be the only reason why it has the horror tag there. But if not, if there's like actual like some horror elements to it, that even more. Come on, bring it, man. I'm so excited for this. Then at number 6, we have Masamune-kun's Revenge R. This is the sequel to Masamune-kun's Revenge. I basically, you have this guy named Masamune. He was bullied a lot when he was a kid because he was overweight. And now he met the girl who bullied him in high school. And she has like a compulsive eating addiction where like she's always hungry, but she remains like super thin. It's really weird. And so it's kind of a comedy like that, romance thing, the typical anime hijinks. I thought that it wasn't bad. So I'm going to check this out. Not going to commit to watching the entire thing, but I'll check it out. I thought the first season wasn't bad. I don't have the greatest desire to be like, oh my gosh, Masamune-kun's Revenge starts in 4 days. Oh my gosh. Like that's not really that. But a quick synopsis, they say, the second season of Masamune-kun no Revenge, Masamune and Adagaki return for more romantic antics, this time on a school trip to France. Oh, so they're going to be traveling the world in this one. Romance. Yeah, anyways. Then at number 7, we have one of my most anticipated anime of the year. Forget just this season, but of the year. And that's Rent-a-Girlfriend season 3. Come on now. The third season of Kanojo Okarishimasu. Kazuya begins producing a movie with Chizuru. When things start to become close, a new girlfriend enters the mix. So as you know, if you've been watching the anime, the past few seasons, we've only had the 4 girls. Now we're getting a 5th. Like, this isn't artificial. This is like, I'm so excited to see what's going on, dude. This anime is insane. It's not for the faint of heart. It's, oh my gosh. This is, if you just get overwhelmed, don't watch this. It's so much chaos. Anyways, 8 days. Can't get here fast enough, man. Then at number 8, we have The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. One of the things that's been super interesting about this show going into it is, even without knowing the synopsis or anything about it, the art style caught me. Like, I don't know if you can see it in the poster there, but just the detail in her hair is insane for no reason. Like, I'm like, what? Like, you would read the synopsis and hear the title for the show and be like, oh, this is probably a mid-range anime budget. Dude, her hair detail, this is not mid-range, bro. That is like detail. Like, I mean, his hair is more detailed. Like, why is her hair more detailed than the Rent-A-Girlfriend girl's hairs? Like, this is ridiculous. Well, I guess mommy's hair is up there is a little more detailed. But anyways, moving on. There's a little bit of a synopsis here. With the new school year comes a new homeroom, new classmates, and a new desk for the timid Komura. But any trepidation he might have felt quickly dissipates when he catches sight of Mie, his new seat neighbor. Apt to quietly blurt out the most random things, the quirky Mie wears thick glasses that accentuate her lovely eyes, making Komura's heart skip a beat. Unfortunately, Mie is pathologically forgetful and can never seem to remember to bring her glasses to class. It's not all bad, though. Her resulting squinty mean girl face sends Komura's heart into overdrive, too. While Komura is keen to help out and share his textbooks with Mie, will his heart give out from the almost daily strain of being up close and personal with his crush? So, I mean, other than the like logical gaps you have to go through, like they say she's like forgetful, bro, I don't think I would forget to see, you know what I mean? Like, as someone who wears glasses, these are blue light glasses, but as someone who actually wears glasses or contacts, you ain't gonna catch me walking around because I actually can't see anything other than this close to me. Everything outside of that is out of focus. That's how bad my vision is. Now, I don't know how bad her vision is. I assume they're gonna make it in the anime like super dramatic, like mine, where everything's blurry and she's gonna have to get super close to the dude like this and like squint just to see him, and he's gonna blush and and the music's gonna, go crazy. Anyways, but what am I talking about? Just other than those logical leaps you have to get through to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fine. It'll be a fine little romance anime comedy. I'm here for it. If you don't like romance anime, don't watch this. But as someone who's like, how most people are for isekai, where everybody's like, yeah, I'll watch isekai. For me, that's this. I'll be like, yeah, I guess I'll watch it. Whereas any other genre, I'd probably be like, I'll skip it. No, this one, I'm like, yeah, check it out. Then we have My Happy Marriage at number 9. And so this says, born to a noble family, Mio is married off to Kyoka, a soldier so heartless his prior fiancés fled. With nowhere to go, Mio slowly starts to open her heart to her cold husband-to-be. Could this be love? So here's my theory, guys. Get ready. She's going to be the one that makes him open up, and we're going to reveal like a tragic backstory and all the people he lost in war because he's a soldier, and then he's going to start showing personality and they're going to fall in love. It's going to be great. Yeah, I'm going to check it out because once again, I'm like, I have like a blood oath to watch every romance anime ever. But I don't know. It sounds fine. The thing about this is the light novel reviews have been great, and then the anticipation of this has been great. And so just for that, I'm like, I'll check it out because just from this like synopsis, I'm like, but just hearing like all the reaction to it from the people who know what's up, it's like, oh, maybe there's something special here that the synopsis is doing a very poor job at enlightening me on. So I'm going to check that out. Then we have Bungo Stray Dogs Season 5. The 5th season of Bungo Stray Dogs. Detective employees are caught one after another, and Kamui, the leader of Tenjin Goshui, is closing in on the armed detective agency. Will the agency survive? I'm obviously going to be watching this. Season 4 aired back in winter, but if you ask me, that was just Season 4 Part 1 and this is Season 4 Part 2, because they aired within like a 6-month gap. But I don't know. I'm going to check it out. If I'm not going to try to sell you on Bungo Stray Dogs. We're in Season 5 now. you ain't catching up, okay? I mean, unless you really want to, but it is what it is. Then we have Hataraku Masama 2nd season, or The Devil is a Part-Timer Season 2. And it's a sequel to Hataraku Masama. Lucifer and company face new challenges, form new allies, and now there's a baby. Your favorite otherworldly crew returns in this continuation. I watched Season 1. I actually enjoyed quite a bit of The Devil is a Part-Timer. Season 2 I thought was like, okay, I tried to, when I first saw it, I was like, it's not horrible. No, it's bad. It's like, it's pretty bad. I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember any redeeming qualities about it. Because there's usually with anime that I find mid, I'll forget about them, but they'll be like, yeah, but I remember liking things. I might not remember what they are, but I remember liking things. I don't remember liking anything about this. This was just boring. And so I'm going to check this out. I'm going to give it like a couple episodes just to see. Maybe that was like a weird fluke, and I'll check those out. A couple episodes here, I'll check those out. But I'm not gonna be like committed to this. So if the season ends and I haven't seen this and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know, don't be surprised. Moving on. At number 12, we have Liar Liar, or as I like to call it, textbook shonen number 35. As you look at this poster, because this looks like every anime character ever. Anyways. A mind game of lies and deceit begins at Academy Island. Wow, what an original name. Academy Island, bro. Students battle in games to win stars, hoping to earn the prestigious title 7-star. Sarasa is last year's champion and is on track to win again until Hiroto, a new transfer student, hits the scene. Surprisingly, Hiroto defeats her by sheer luck. Now, he must use bluffs and trickery to stay on top. I don't know. I don't know. Part of me is like, I just have to see it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to explain because nothing about this sounds interesting at all, but I'm so interested. I don't know. Maybe this is just one of those things where, I'm sorry if I hit the mic, but maybe this is just one of those things after you spend enough time in the anime community, you're like, I gotta see what's going on. This really strikes me as like Misfit of Demon King Academy. And so maybe it's going to be like that, where the first season of Misfit was so funny because it was just a spoof that took itself so seriously that it ended up going all the way past satire into funny again, like genuinely funny. And so maybe this can do that too. I don't really know. Up next at number 13 is Reign of the Seven Spellblades. It says, in springtime at Kimberly Magic Academy, and new students are beginning their first year. Among them are a skilled and studious boy, Oliver, and a headstrong samurai girl, Nanao. They soon form a unique bond in the halls of Kimberly, but this picturesque school isn't what it seems. Dark secrets and endless danger lurk behind every corner. Can these wizards make it to graduation alive? This is one of those shows I'm not watching. Personally, it didn't strike me as any form of interesting at all. But if the reviews are really, really good for this, maybe I'll check it out. But personally, I have no plan to watch it. But, it's number 13, so there's got to be a decent amount of people that are checking it out. At number 14 is Rurouni Kenshin Meiji Kenkaku Romatan 2023. And so this is a readaptation of the main manga series. So back, how old was that? Decades ago. I think it was 90s or 80s, somewhere around there. The original Rurouni Kenshin anime came out based on the manga. And so now this is a kind of a redo of that, almost like how Trigun Stampede earlier this year was a redo of the original Trigun anime, readapting the same material, but kind of shedding light on new things, focusing on different aspects, and then you kind of get like a nice it complements the original anime. And so maybe we can get something like that here. I'm obviously going to be checking it out because if you're an anime fan, obviously you have to check out Rurouni Kenshin. Come on. But it says 140 years ago in Kyoto, with he coming off the American black ships, there arose a warrior who, felling men with his bloodstained blade, gained the name Hitokiri, if I can read, manslayer. His killer blade helped close the turbulent Bakumatsu era and slashed open the progressive age known as Meiji. Then he vanished, and with the flow of tears, became legend. So there you go. If you don't know what Rurouni Kenshin is, I recommend looking it up. Obviously, all of us who know what it is are going to be checking it out. Moving on to number 15, we have Shinigami Bochan to Kuro Maid second season, or The Duke of Death and His Maid season 2. There's no synopsis here for that. I'm not going to be checking this out. I didn't watch the first season. The animation style just didn't look all that appealing to me. I couldn't get past it. I was just distracted the whole time trying to check it out. It's done it's done in 3D. It's a different type of 3D art style than you usually see when you think of 3D anime, even the good ones. And for me, it just didn't work out. I know my brother, he liked this show and he was able to watch the entire thing. But me personally, I just couldn't get past it. So I'm not going to be checking this one out because I haven't seen the first season. And I doubt that they've done anything to the animation that'll make it more appealing. I think it's just the art style. And I hate to say that because I like to be such a big proponent of different animation styles and trying things out. And I guess I am. I'm like, yo, still, if you like it, watch it. If I like that they're experimenting with stuff. But this one personally doesn't appeal to me. I just get too distracted looking at it. It just looks wrong. But that's just my opinion. Anyways. Moving on to number 16, my favorite anime. No, reborn as a vending machine. I now wander the dungeon. I'm so excited for this. And I'm going to make you excited too. Listen to this. After dying in a traffic accident, I find myself standing near an unfamiliar lake. My body won't move. I can't hear my voice. And when I try to shout in confusion, words that I never expected come out. Get one free with a winner. It seems like I've turned into a vending machine. I can only do what actual vending machines can. It's impossible to move by myself, and there's no way for me to have any meaningful conversation. How am I going to survive some fantasy world's dungeon like this? I have to check this out. This concept is so absurd. I just need to, I don't care if it's bad. I don't care if it's good. I just need to see what the heck is going on here. And I think that's the entire reason why it's at number 16, bro. I see no world where this becomes like a top 3 anime of this next season, bro. I'm so excited to check this out. Oh my gosh. Everybody, let's all watch it for one episode. And then after that, make this one episode the most watched anime episode ever. They'll greenlight season 2, and then no one watch it after that. And then we'll just, oh my gosh. Could you imagine? Oh, it'd be so funny. Moving on to number 17. Is Classroom for Heroes. The story is set in Rosewood Academy, a school that trains future heroes destined to protect mankind. The school accepts only those with the most potential. Ernest Flaming, a girl who boasts the top record in the academy, is assigned to guide a mysterious but cheerful new student named Blade, who rivals her own power. What a crazy name. Ernest Flaming and Blade. I'm not watching this. It just sounds, there's so many anime I'm already excited to check out, like too many, like even more than the season we're currently in, and I'm behind on everything here too. That I don't know. No. Do I have to explain myself when I don't want to watch something, or can I just be like, this one is not really cutting it for me? So yeah, not checking that one out. Then we have My Tiny Senpai. And the main reason, before I read the synopsis, the main reason why I have this one on here, even without reading the synopsis, is because of all of the controversy that's already been surrounding this before it even came out. Like, people were having like discourse over this. They were like, oh my gosh, what do you think of the short girl? Like, this is pedophilia or something like that. It was so... I tried to stay out of it. And so every time it like showed up on my timeline, I was like, I just don't care. But I want to check it out, see what's going on. And then maybe I'll look more into the discourse, but it's just exhausting. So I'm going to check it out for that, for research purposes, guys. But here's the synopsis for those of you guys who don't care about the controversy and just want to be like, but will it be good though? So Shinozaki is an office worker who is taken care of and coddled by his senior team member, Shirei Katase, who is a gorgeous, profoundly kind, loving, and diminutive woman. Shinozaki certainly hopes that she's not doing it out of duty, but her joy of doing so increasingly exposes her feelings. Like, it sounds cute to me. Like, I don't know what's going on here. What's with the controversy? Maybe something happens in the doujinshi that I don't know about. Like, maybe something that they're hiding in the synopsis. Like, it's like actually like more crazy. You know, like maybe her actions aren't just diminutive, but I don't know. I don't want to assume. I just want to check it out. Let's see what we got 2 days, and then we'll know what the controversy is about. Then we have at number 19 is Am I Actually the Strongest? After being a shut-in, Haruto is reincarnated as a baby, and amazingly, that baby is a prince. However, he's abandoned in a forest on the day he's born because of his low magic level. What will be the fate of Haruto, who was inadvertently given 1,000 times the normal amount of magic by the goddess of reincarnation without anyone noticing? Of course he was given that. This just sounds like stereotypical isekai. I don't. Yeah. No, nothing about this is remotely interesting. The characters in the poster, they're like, oh, I'm yawning. I don't care. It's boring. Like that's how I feel. Maybe I'm the romance guy. If I were the isekai guy, I'd be like, oh yeah, baby, day one, we're there, boys. For this, I'm like, I don't when's bedtime? But at number 20, we have Dark Gathering. This was actually pretty intriguing to me. After a devastating encounter with a restless spirit, ghost-fearing psychic Geitaru Gentoga became a shut-in to avoid additional spectral catastrophes. But no man is a haunted island, and Keitaru eventually reintegrates with society by getting a part-time job as a tutor to the child prodigy Yayoi Hozuki. Yayoi isn't just an academic genius, though. She's a talented psychic medium hell-bent on finding the malevolent spirit behind her mother's disappearance, and she's gravely determined to drag Keitaro into her terrifying world of grotesque supernatural phenomenon. This just sounds so fascinating to me. The thing is, we rarely get, horror anime as it is, and especially good ones. This one sounds promising. Like, I'm not saying this will be like the best anime of the season or anything, but this sounds like it could be a pretty solid, fun, fulfill that horror supernatural anime itch that we all have, because the last one we got, what was it? Freaking Mieruko-chan? All right, I know most people like Mieruko-chan. I didn't like Mieruko-chan. I thought it was awful, but like really bad. But a lot of people loved it, so maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the one where I'll be like, it's great, and everyone is like, But I think it sounds interesting. You can't see it in the poster, but the main girl, Yayoi, her eyes actually have skulls in them instead of pupils. It's really fascinating. I like how they're messing with the art style. I don't think that's specific to the anime, but even based on the manga, I like a lot of the things that they're going for here. I think there's a lot of interesting setups, so I'm interested to check this one out personally. At number 21, we have Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence. Saint Cecilia is beloved by the townspeople. Not only is she elegant and composed, she benevolently shares her wisdom with all who seek it. That is, until the last person has left, at which point she becomes totally hopeless. Only Pastor Lawrence is keeping the saint put together enough to do her duties. And though she may test him, it's all in a day's work. This one it doesn't sound bad. In a series or in a season where I'm watching so many different series, I don't have the time for it. And so unless this is getting like amazing reviews and it's like, wow, it's an amazing character study and it's really cute and all this stuff, then I'll try to fit it into the schedule. But as of now, I'm like, I just have so many things that I can't take something that sounds like, that doesn't sound bad. I can't settle for not bad. I got to settle for stuff that I'm like, I have to check this out. Whether it's a good or a bad reason, it has to be a reason to check it out. This just sounds fine. And I'm sure that if I watched it, I would be like, it's not a bad way to waste time. I recommend. But I probably wouldn't like have a huge effect on me. I have no doubt that this would not be in my top 10 anime of the year. But who knows? Maybe it could be. Maybe by the end of the season, I'm like, yo, Saint Cecilia, anime of the year. Maybe. Who's to say? I didn't think that Arknights would be my anime of the year back in last year, and I didn't think that One Drag Priority would be my anime of the year in 2021, but here we are. At number 22, we have Helk, a certain country in the demon world. The Demon King was defeated by the hands of one of the heroes, and a competition was held for the title of the new Demon King. The Imperial Four Heavenly Kings Vermilio, who is in charge of the tournament, is furious at the participation of the human hero Helk, who is supposed to be her enemy. After receiving news of the fall of the castle of Urum before the final, Vermilio sets out to retake Urum Castle with Helk and other finalists. With a smile, Helk says, "Let's destroy humans." Are those true words? The truth behind the smile is... And they don't say what the truth is. Oh no, we gotta watch it to figure it out. No. It doesn't sound horrible. It doesn't sound like the worst premise ever. But once again, it's one of those things where this happens a lot in a lot of anime seasons where I'm like, maybe if I wasn't watching 20 other shows, I'd probably check that one out. Unless this gets great reviews, I don't have the time. I'm watching, I think I counted in my other video, I think it's 20 or 21 anime that I'm watching this next season. That was the most genuine, that was the most real sigh I've ever given in my entire life. At least in the history of the Otaku Experience. I don't know in my entire life, but top 3, maybe. I genuinely don't have the time, but it sounds interesting. So I wouldn't be surprised if this gets good reviews. And if it does, I'll try, man. Then at number 23, we have one of the anime we've been covering a lot, which is Atelier Ryza, Ever Darkness, and the Secret Hideout, the animation. So this is based off of the video game Atelier Ryza that we've been talking about quite a bit over the past few months. You guys know my thoughts on this. I think it sounds pretty delightful. They say the story of Ryza, a fledgling alchemist who escaped her boring daily life with her friends to pursue her dreams. It sounds fine. And especially because the first episode is going to have a 60-minute, like, triple length episode. Like, bro, we have to support it just because of that. So, you know, I've been talking about it way too much. 60-minute episode. It sounds delightful. And have you seen the trailers, bro? All the thighs. Anyways, you know, got our priorities straight, baby. I think I'm gonna check it out. I you know, after talking about it for months, and I'm like, it'd feel wrong to not talk about it. Like, everybody'd be like, so what do you think of Atelier Ryza? You talked about it for months. And I'd be like, oh, I didn't watch it. Yeah, I feel like I would be kind of robbing you of something. I have to talk about it. At number 24, we have Yumamiru Danshi wa Genjitsu Shukisa. Or I think it's like The Dreaming Boy or something. I don't know. It's some boy title romance. You know, it doesn't matter what the title is. Sajo Wataru, who is deeply in love with his beautiful classmate Natsukawa Aika, is continuing to approach her without getting discouraged, while having dreams about their mutual love. However, one day he woke up thinking, I'm not really fit to be together with someone as good as her, huh? Upon realizing this, Wataru started keeping an appropriate distance towards her, much to Aika's surprise. Could it be that he hates me now? Did his intention slip by her because she was getting impatient after arriving at the wrong conclusion? This is the start of a rom-com revolving around two people who just can't get their feelings across and both think their love is unrequited. Once again, as you see by the green check mark, it doesn't sound that interesting, but I have to watch it. You know what I mean? This is... you know me. I'm not explaining nothing. Shut up. Hey. All right. And then at number 24, and I guess this has already started, it's got a good 75% like ratio already, is Yohane the Parhelion Sunshine in the Mirror. The story reimagines Yoshiku Tsushima, the school idol afflicted with Chunibyo, adolescent delusions of grandeur, as a magical girl. The story is set in Numazu, a scenic harbor town surrounded by the sea mountains. Ever since she was little, the little girl Yohane has never fit in, and has always felt apart from everyone in town. Her aspirations and true place in this world lie elsewhere. The story follows this girl who cannot follow rules as she journeys into the mysterious world. And I believe this is Love Live. I don't know. This is like a side story, a spinoff of some other anime that I'm not caught up on. That on top with for all the reasons we said before. No Time doesn't sound the worst, but it doesn't sound the greatest either. And it's a series that I'm not fully caught up on. 3 whammies, not watching it. But so far it looks like it's good though. It's got a 75%. Who's to say? Then we have at number 25, my unique skill makes me OP even at level 1. Sato Ryota is a salaryman working for an exploitive company, suddenly finds himself inside an unfamiliar dungeon in a strange world where monsters drop all sorts of items as loot. With the help of a girl he happens to run into named Emily, he's able to check on his own stats and finds that all of them, both physical and magical, are at rank F, the weakest. What's more, he's stuck at level 1, the lowest. Ryota is on the verge of utter despair. But then he learns he also has drop skill all S, the most powerful unique skill there is. Can Ryota manage to survive in this bizarre world? The strongest and the weakest adventure of all is about to begin. What are the odds he has the strongest thing in the world? You know, I don't care. Oh no, he got reincarnated and what? Look at the harem of girls around him. He also has the most powerful skill in the world. What are the odds? I'm no. Isekai, get it out of my face. Ah! You want to jump scare me? Just say isekai. Jeez. Yo. Okay. At number 26, we have Undead murder farce. The 19th century, a world inhabited by vampires, golems, werewolves, and other paranormal creatures. Immortal beauty and disembodied head Aya Rindo, along with half-human, half-demon demon killer Tsugaru Shunichi, and her loyal maid Shizuku Hasai travels through Europe as supernatural detective The Cage User, solving supernatural mysteries while she searches for her lost body. Same three whammies. I don't care. Not interested. Then we have the most heretical last boss queen from villainous to savior. And I believe that this is the last one out of the 30 that I'm watching. So the next 3 after this, I'm not checking out. And so it says, Pride Royal Ivy is only 8 years old when she realizes that she's been reincarnated, destined to become the future Wicked Queen and final boss of an Otome game. She's got it all in this new life: razor-sharp wit, boss-tier powers, and influence over the kingdom as crown princess. Determined to sow despair and destruction, across the land, wait, what kind of rotten future is that? Princess Pride decides to drop the maniacal villainous plan and protect the male love interest instead, cheating her way to saving everyone she can. Will this final boss end up earning the adoration of her kingdom? I'm going to check this out. I really like the flipping the premise. I like these types of things where a person rejects their role in life that they're like supposed to have. And then everyone like freaks out. I think it sounds not super interesting, but I think it sounds interesting. And so I will definitely be there to check it out. At number 28, we have Tenperu. I know, I'll become a monk. Akagami Akimitsu has spent his days and nights absorbed in studying and part-time work in effort to distance himself from his family, which is notorious as a household of philanderers. One day he falls in love at first sight with a girl named Alba Yuzuki, and suddenly he's constantly drowning in worldly desires. Hoping to fight back against his genes and live a more stoic life, he enters a temple, only to find out that it's a convent filled with gorgeous girls. So begins a new rom-com about the temple life of 3 adorable triplets and 2 beautiful freeloaders. Listen, this sounds like a premise to a hentai. I mean, it has the tag ecchi, so maybe this is that. But I don't know. There's no plot other than the plot. You know what I mean? So maybe this will be good to like see on YouTube clips, see what's going on Twitter, maybe that, but maybe not watch the actual show. Maybe just see some moments. You feel me, you read me. So we'll watch it without watching it. You know what I mean? Okay, great. Glad we're on the same page. At number 29, we have Spy Kyoshitsu, second season, or Spy Classroom. This is second season, 2 Spy Classroom. I didn't watch that first season. I thought, I heard that the first season was bad, and so I didn't watch it. I was planning to watch it, but I heard it was bad, so I didn't. And so if you have seen Spy Classroom, you can check out the second season. But if you haven't, no worries. And then at number 30, the last one that we're at least going to be talking about. There are more down here, so I recommend going to AniChart if you would like to read all of the things, because there's OVAs, there's continuing anime, there's movies that are scheduled to release. I think in total there's like close to 100 things on here that you can read about. So have fun with that. Sugar Apple Fairy Tale Season 2. The second core of Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, after winning Silver Sugar Master, Anne faces Chale's sudden departure. Anne's next journey begins as she's determined to have Chale back by her side. Now, I haven't seen the first season of Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, but I heard it was great. I heard it was fantastic. So I'm going to check that out. It's only 12 episodes. So I'm going to check that out before this, not before it airs, but, I'm going to catch up throughout the first season through the second season in this, in summer. And so, yeah, those are the anime I'm watching. There actually are some anime down here that I'm watching. So here's the leftovers and things like that. But down here, where is it? We're watching the quintuplets thing where they're adapting new stuff. I don't know why that doesn't have a check mark on it. We're going to watch that. Baki Season 2. I'm watching that. That doesn't air weekly. That'll probably all drop on Netflix. I think it splits in different chunks on Netflix. And then the last one is Tonikawa, Over the Moon for You, High School Days. And those are all the things I'm checking out in summer 2021, or 2023, not 2021. What anime are you guys going to be checking out? Are you checking out only the opposite of what I said? You're like, oh, if Visual said it's going to be good, it's going to be mid. And if he said it's going to be bad, it's going to be good. That's how it works. But I don't know. I mean, obviously there's things like Jujutsu Kaisen, Mushoku Tensei, Haremia, Bleach, those anime. But are there other anime that maybe you weren't, thinking about too much? that suddenly you're like, oh, maybe I should check that out. Let me know what you think down below. All right, so moving on to the actual news in this week's episode of the Otaku Experience, and just FYI, as we do with episodes that we spend a longer time doing other things, like if we review like an anime movie or whatever, or if like in this episode we went through the upcoming anime, there are going to be less news stories, so that way, you know, it's all there. So there's just going to be less news stories this time, but I made sure to pack the biggest ones in here, starting with the live action One Piece. Its trailer came out last week or the week before. I thought it didn't look that bad. Still cautious going in. I'm not the most excited for it, but I didn't think it looks bad. The trailer was definitely not a bad step. I think that the trailer was actually not that bad. One thing that we talked about was that I thought the effects were intentionally goofy. I saw some people being like, oh my gosh, why aren't the effects all that great? Well, I didn't mind it. I thought that One Piece inherently is a very goofy concept. When you read the manga and you've seen the anime, you know that this is a very goofy, hokey type of thing. That to me, the effects really seem to work in a more Play-Doh-y type aspect. They're not bad VFX, but they're not the greatest we've ever seen. You know what I mean? They're definitely not Avatar: The Way of Water. But what we just found out is that the live action One Piece actually has a bigger budget than Game of Thrones. Listen to this. This comes to us from CBR. According to a report from Daily Dose of Anime, the per episode budget for the live action One Piece is a staggering $18 million. And if you guys are thinking about that, this show is 8 episodes long. So 18 times 8, that's 144, almost 150 million for the budget. And then plus marketing, this is like a movie, you know what I mean? Like this cost more than like Spider-Verse. This was like on par with like Shazam budget, well, no, a lot of the comic book stuff, a lot of the comic book movies are like in the 200 range. But, you know, back in the day, you know, a lot of stuff was made for television. This is ridiculous. This is a very expensive budget that I think is only comparable to like, like the Marvel shows and the Star Wars shows on Disney Plus, or maybe even some of the DC shows on I was about to say HBO Max, but now it's just Max. And possibly even like Stranger Things or other shows like that. But Game of Thrones had a huge budget as well. I'm currently trying to work my way through it. I've been working through it for a while. I don't know. Season 2 hit and I'm not feeling it as much anymore. Season 1 I binged. I flew through that. Season 2 I got there and I'm like, I'll watch it, I guess. And so I've been watching season 2 over the course of like 8 months. But anyways, I'll catch up, I swear. So $18 million, making it the most expensive series the streamer has ever produced. Okay, so take back what I said about Stranger Things. For context, the previous record for the highest per episode budget of a live action series was held by Game of Thrones at $15 million, while Disney's The Mandalorian nearly reached that figure as well. While a big budget doesn't necessarily translate to a quality show, the fact Netflix has put this much faith and financial backing into One Piece is a positive sign for anime fans who've actually become accustomed to the streamer turning out half-baked adaptations like their unfortunate take on Cowboy Bebop. Regardless of its storytelling, if the visuals are as good as those on Game of Thrones or The Mandalorian, the money may be well worth it. And like we talked about in the trailer, I thought the money was well worth it. I thought that even if the effects look like they did in the trailer, I saw some people upset about the effects. I think they look fine. It's a very hokey thing. I don't mind it. You know, it's like when that Power Rangers movie back in 2017 came out. Power Rangers is such a goofy thing. Like when Goldar comes out and you have the putties. Like I'm like, the effects don't have to be the greatest ever. It's freaking Power Rangers. And so for that, I feel like it worked. And the same thing for this. I feel like it's going to work either way. And a lot of this stuff as well, they're going to be spending a lot of time on the ocean with powers and mythical creatures and on different islands. There's going to be a lot of different backgrounds and sets. So I can understand like this budget is going to be well spent because they're going to be traversing and going to all sorts of places. Obviously, this doesn't say anything to the quality of the show. I mean, it talks about production quality, but in terms of the actual like contents of like the script and anything like that, the directing and the acting, that still remains to be seen. I think that it doesn't look bad from the trailer, but I don't want to be like, oh yeah, man, I don't want to put all my chips in on this just yet. But this is another good sign for this live action One Piece. What are your thoughts on this? All right, moving on to a big story that actually came out, I believe, the day last week's Otaku Experience episode aired, and so we weren't able to talk about it, which was really, really upsetting because I was like, I feel like I should talk about this. So, the manga industry, you have mangakas, and even in like the VTuber industry, you have some VTubers, and I'm sure there's even like some in other industries as well, like voice actors and things like that, where people will intentionally hide their identity. They'll use maybe a stage name, or when they're an author, I forget the exact term, but it's a fake name. And they never reveal their actual identity. VTubers, as we all know, are famous streamers who are, they have like an anime persona looking thing. And you don't really know who they are. You don't know their name. You don't know what they look like, anything like that. Well, now apparently there's going to be a new law in Japan that's going to require these people, like manga artists, like authors, mangakas, VTubers, and more, to actually reveal their identity against their will, even if they don't want to. So listen to this. This comes to us from Sportskeeda. While details are sparse on the new invoice system, its impact on the manga and VTuber industries is already clear and apparent from the little information currently available. Essentially, the invoices that are used in Japan for contractor work, which manga artists and VTubers fall under, will now require a worker's real name to verify their work and identity. Unfortunately, these creators have no choice but to go along with the new rule, since invoices can only be verified by using their real names. Likewise, the Japanese Ministry of Finance doesn't consider using someone's real name as highly risky personal information, and therefore will not improve or make countermeasures for public access to this data. And that's the problem there. So there's some things I get, with the rise of AI and things like that, there's going to be some things, if it's contractor work, where if someone's asking for pay, they're like, hey, we need you to actually prove that you did this if you're going to get paid, rather than just the AI doing it because we won't pay that. It's freaking AI. What's the AI going to do? All right, don't kill me, AI. Like, if you take over Ultron, I love you. Anyways, but the problem is this, where they're forcing people to do it. I get the reasons why, but here's the biggest thing. They will not improve or make countermeasures for public access to this data. What this means is that the public, whether they're in Japan, whether they're overseas, mainly in the West, the United States, they can get access to this and start doing stupid stuff. You have people who can be really crazy and really dumb, where they can just do all kinds of research and find into someone based on their name and what they look like. And, eventually it can get to the point, not saying it will, because it takes a lot of skill to do this, but it can get to the point where people could go to someone's house or start harassing them publicly on like maybe a personal social media, or start harassing people around them. If these people intentionally choose not to hide their identity, if they wanted their identity out there, they would have put it out there. Like, if VTubers wanted to show their identity, they would have maybe not necessarily taken down the face, or the VTuber face, but they may have revealed their name, or they might have even shown their face. Or mangakas would reveal their real name, or manga artists would do the same thing. Forcing these people to do it is one thing, but then making that information accessible to the public, and also not making it any harder for the public to access that, now that you're making it a requirement of these people to do something against their will, that's a problem. And I know you're thinking, Israel, why exactly would these people go and do that? Well, it has to do with anime and with manga. There's been stories. I don't think I have to explain examples of this, but there's been times where a manga will come out and it has a super unpopular ending, or they kill a character off and the fan base revolts, and like, anime fans can get insane. Like, I don't, not necessarily just anime fans. Every fandom has these people, but anime fans can get insane, or manga fans in this case can get insane, where these people are like issuing death threats to these people. And then suddenly you think that these people will just stop at death threats if suddenly they can now have access to their name and what they look like? They're going to go way further than that. They're going to go to every single mile possible to do what their stupid self-justification is. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to tell them that I didn't like this choice that they did in this anime or in this manga. Ugh. And then they're going to start harassing people. And it's going to even get to the point, which we've seen, not necessarily in this scenario, because this hasn't taken effect yet. I don't believe it might have. I need to, I guess, look a bit more into this. But in other situations like this, where people follow other people and track down their identity and stuff, we've seen people find people's locations, find their house, and be like, yo, I'm sure that if someone was super, I'm not super popular, so I don't think I have the people, like the crazy rabid fans to do it. But people like my face and my name is out there. You can look me up. You can find out probably what high school I went to. You can find out what city I live in. And you can probably even find out what neighborhood. And then after that, it's just knocking on some doors until I answer. And then suddenly, but I willingly choose to put my face and my name out there. Whereas some people intentionally choose not to because they don't want that drama for whatever reason. They don't want to get recognized in public. They don't want their family to get harassed. Whatever the reason may be, it's completely their choice, and it's 100% okay with whatever their option, whatever they choose to do. But suddenly forcing these people is one thing. But if you're going to force them, you have to make it not necessarily impossible, but make it much harder to where only a certain group of personnel can just access this information. Why is this just being given access to the public? There's people that don't want to give their identity. Now they're required to give their identity by law. Oh, you guys want to check out their name that they didn't want to give? Okay, yeah, here you go. What? I sound like a broken record, but this is genuinely just so stupid to me. I don't know. There's other people that have gone into more detail who know a lot more, whether they live in Japan or they've been following this industry a lot longer, so they can give more nuanced and detailed takes on that. But I just had to kind of just give my thoughts on this because this is insane. And thankfully, the reaction to this has been very sane, not insane, like the decision to not make this harder to get information. So hopefully they listen to these people, and before they fully enact this law, unless they've already started doing so, in which case I pray that they move fast. But before they do that, I hope that they can change that and be like, let's accommodate these people and make it harder to get this. Treat this as if it's classified information, because if someone doesn't want their name out there and then you're forcing them to put their name and their face out there, that's classified information. Like that. You shouldn't be required to put yourself on the internet. And so, yeah, there we go. Disgusting. Don't like it. All right, so moving on to a bit happier news. The My Hero Academia manga and anime have been increasingly popular. They're a phenomenon. They're some of the most popular franchises in anime, along with the likes of like Demon Slayer. They're very mainstream. And so one of the things that's been super popular in the manga space has been a spin-off called My Hero Academia Vigilantes. And apparently, I haven't checked this out. This is a prequel manga to the main series. And turns out we might actually be getting an anime adaptation of this. This comes to us from CBR. Twitter user and My Hero Academia mega fan ever at Davis Pole Dance claimed an anime adaptation for My Hero Academia Vigilantes, the standalone prequel series to Shonen Jump's massively popular My Hero Academia, was currently in the works. Ever did not specify when Vigilantes adaptation is expected to premiere. She additionally refrained from confirming whether Bones Inc., the animation studio responsible for the original My Hero Academia anime adaptation, will return to oversee the production of the beloved shonen series prequel spinoff. So yes, before, and I know that this is what the title says, and this is what the narrative is going around, that this is probably going to get an anime adaptation. I do believe this, but it's just so you know, it's not 100% confirmed. We don't even know what studio would do it if they were going to do it. I tend to believe it would be Studio Bones, because why wouldn't it be? But say that the My Hero Academia rights, that the Vigilantes rights don't necessarily come with the other manga rights, and Bones would have to fight over that. So maybe another studio gives a better bid, and then they get the rights for it. Regardless, if this happens, I will definitely be there. I love My Hero Academia. I think it's really good. This final season, or not final season, this most recent season was fan-freaking-tastic. And I'd definitely be willing to check this out. I don't really know anything about this, so this is making me really interested to look into this to see. I mean, if this is going to be an anime, I'm already going to check it out because it's My Hero Academia. But I would also like to know just, what's in it? What's it about before I go into it? Because I'm actually kind of curious. Like, is this like the early stages of like when the heroes were showing up in the My Hero Academia world, like before they were the big stars that they were, and maybe they were vigilantes and before they got the trust of the people and then they became stars. Like, how much in the future does this take place in? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff here that I'm really interested in, but it's not confirmed. And when it is confirmed, we'll definitely be able to talk a little bit more about that. But right now, this is all just a hypothetical from a leak that a lot of people are believing, including myself, but it is not 100% confirmed yet. So take that with a grain of salt. All right, and moving on to our final big story of the day. This should come as no surprise. The finale of Oshi no Ko aired this week. And as of watching this, I have not had a chance to finish it, but I have no doubt it's been as great as the rest of the season has been. And as we've been talking about the past few weeks, this was the season of Oshi no Ko. It's been a phenomenon, way popular than any of us ever anticipated, I think. I mean, we all knew going in that this was going to be big because everybody was talking about it. All the trailers would trend, the posters and everything like that. But when this came out, it caught fire, like transcended the anime, just the anime community. Like, you would see it everywhere on social media. And so obviously it's no surprise that season 2 has officially been announced, that it is in production. No duh, we knew this was coming out. And I would assume that, I don't know how early on into the production it is. All we know is we got a Twitter announcement from Kadokawa and the Oshi no Ko official account thing that the season 2 is in production. We didn't get really anything other than that. We didn't get how long it's in production or when it's expected to premiere. If you asked me, I'm thinking probably a fall 2024 release, because they're just saying now that it's in production. And I could be wrong. This could air, in spring next year or winter next year. But because of when they said it is, and just based on the pattern of anime, I think that we're probably looking at a 2-year break before we get it back. And so while fall 2024 wouldn't be a 2-year break, it would be pretty close to it. It'd be like a year and a half, getting close to a year and 3/4 before season 2. I think that's a decent amount of time before we actually get a next season. But at the latest, I would probably put like summer 2025. So I would expect it between fall 2024 and summer 2025. And for a lot of us, it's going to be like, that's way too long. I got to read the manga. And so there you go. That's how they do that. But this is obviously no surprise. There's not really any big story here other than the fact that it's coming. We knew it was coming, obviously. The most obvious anime story of all time. No, but yeah, I'll be there. I'm excited to check it out. I'm glad they're not announcing a movie. Not that I have a problem with the movies, but I don't see that working really for this, unless there's an arc that they can do that with. But it seems to me that a movie should wait a little bit more. Right now, just focus on the anime. And hopefully they start working on this so we can get Oshi no Ko seasons year after year. Because with success like this, I mean, you have to be like, yo, when are we making the next one? Oh, right now? Great, let's get to work. And so, yeah, I'm very excited to check this out, and I assume most of you are as well. All right, and moving into our last part of the show, we're going to get into the audience ranking. So just FYI, there is no anime trending audience ranking this week. As we all know, the week before the final week of the season, they don't do a ranking because shows are ending. And so they like to give every show a fair shot. And so we'll get those next week, and we'll be back with those anime trending final spring rankings. So for this week, we only have Anime Corner. But, oh, I was on the wrong tab. I thought I was somewhere else. Oh, you were already looking at it. But, okay, so here we go on Anime Corner. And so at number 1, we have The Dangers in My Heart. This comes after the season 2 announcement, so not a surprise that it's up there. At number 2, we have Oshi no Ko, which stayed at number 2, as well as The Dangers in My Heart staying at number 1. Dangers in My Heart got 10.47% of the vote, whereas Oshi no Ko got 7.64% of the vote. At number 3 is Vinland Saga Season 2, which went up 1 spot. And that got 6.43% of the vote. At number 4, we had Hell's Paradise, which went up 1 spot from number 5, and that got 4.55% of the vote. At number 3, we have Demon Slayer Swordsmith Village Arc, which went up 1 spot from rank 6, and that got 4.38% of the vote. At number 6, we have Mashle Magic and Muscles, which went down 3 spots from number 3, and that got 4.26% of the vote. At number 7, we have Dr. Stone New World, and that stayed at the same rank as last week, and that got 3.87% of the vote. At number 8, we have Insomniacs After School, and that went up 4 spots from number 12, and that got 3.77% of the vote. I think that this is when the finale aired. I could be wrong. That might be next week. And then at number 9, we have Loving Yamada-kun at level 999, which went down 1 spot from number 8, and that got 3.47% of the vote. And at number 10, we have Dead Mount Death's Play, which went up 6 spots from number 16, and that got 3.34% of the vote. We'll be checking into this list next week, as well as the anime trending list for the final spring season audience ranking. I believe that this is going to be the last one for anime, or that next week is going to be the last one for Anime Corner, as well as Anime Trending. We know that for a fact. But I could be wrong, because Anime Corner does theirs like 3 days before Anime Trending does theirs. So this might have been the last one, but I don't think it was. I think the one that'll come out later this week that we'll talk about next week is going to be the last one. And so that's very interesting. The spring season is over. Summer's on its way. That's freaking crazy. And guys, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Otaku Experience. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to keep up with me and you want to see a lot of my more nuanced takes of the anime coming out next season, you can always check out my main channel, Kingtanic. I talk about anime in a not as professional way. I mean, this channel isn't really professional. Did I say channel? This series isn't really professional. Rob is very professional. Sir. But you can check me out over there. You can always check me out on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Pacific time, or 5 p.m. Eastern, over here on the Burnett Network for the Otaku Experience. You can check out a bunch of other shows on the Burnett Network, as well as Rob's Observations, Midnight Musings, K-Pause, PGS, which I believe we're getting a new episode this week. The member chats, all of Urtam's shows, Ladies of the PGS, Lana Ewan's Burnett Network Reviews, Architects of Imagination, Physical Media. So many shows. Watch them all, love them all, but love mine the most. That'll do it for me this week, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next week.